Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Today is the day, finally, so many of you have been requesting me to start Michael Jackson discography journey, and that is what I am doing starting today. I am so excited to be finally listening to Michael Jackson's albums. I haven't listened to a single Michael Jackson album before in my life. Of course, I've heard his most popular songs, but I've never actually sat down and listened to a full Michael Jackson album before until today. So we are going back to the very beginning to where it all started. Well, technically didn't start here. I am starting with his solo career. If I really wanted to go back to the very beginning, I would start with the Jackson 5, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I might do it afterward or later on, but I think I'm just gonna stick to Michael's solo albums, starting with his debut solo album in 1972 called Got to Be There. This man doesn't need any introduction. He doesn't need me to explain to you the accolades and how monumental this man is, but I'm gonna remind you, dubbed the King of Pop, he's regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. He is one of the best-selling music artists of all time. I thought he was the best-selling music artist of all time. Okay, well, it makes sense now. So Michael Jackson is the third best-selling artist of all time in the history of music. Elvis Presley is number 2, and the Beatles is number 1. Which I also started going on my Elvis Presley discography journey a few months ago, and I've been having a lot of fun at doing that. One day, I do want to go on my Beatles discography journey because I haven't listened to a single Beatles album. Soon. I'm hoping soon. Michael Jackson has sold an estimated 350 million records worldwide, and Thriller is the best-selling album of all time, with sales of 66 million. And in 2016, his estate earned $825 million, the highest yearly amount for a celebrity ever recorded by Forbes. Michael Jackson has had 13 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 singles, more than any other male artist in the Hot 100 era, and he has also received 13 Grammy Awards, alongside the Grammy Legend and Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. He also received 6 Brit Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and 39 Guinness World Records, including the most successful entertainer of all time, and he was included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, the Dance Hall of Fame, and just every Hall of Fame you can think of, and the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. I feel like I could keep going on and on and on and on about this man's accolades and what he's achieved in his life, but I think I'm going to stop there and we're going to get into the music. Now, Michael Jackson was born in 1978, August 29th, and his first solo album came out in 1972, which would have made him about 14 years old. Wow. The album came out in January, so he was actually only 13 years old when this album came out. There are 10 tracks on the album, and the album is 36 minutes. And I don't recall hearing any of these songs before, but like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. But anyway, let's get into track number 1, Ain't No Sunshine. I'm so excited!
She's around me. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Now if she's gone, stay. Ain't no sunshine. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Already announced track number 1, Aint No Sunshine. I liked it. I'm just so giddy right now. I'm just so excited. I feel so hyper. I'm just so excited to finally be going on my Michael Jackson discography Journey, I really enjoyed it. He sounds so mature for his age in this song, and his vocals. Wow, I was not expecting that. I wish I was given the gift of song. I wish I could sing really good at a young age and throughout my life. And now, the song Ain't No Sunshine was originally recorded in 1971, so a year before Michael's version by Bill Withers. I have heard this song before multiple times throughout my life. A lot of people sang it, a lot of people did covers of the song, especially on American Idol. I remember religiously watching that show, and a lot of people would always cover this song. It's nice. It's a very beautiful song, and I really enjoyed it. So now we're gonna move on to track number 2, I Wanna Be Where You Are. Alrighty, that was track number 2, I Wanna Be Where You Are. This was another great song. He sounds great. You know, for being 13 years old, his vocals, his voice is great, and I'm really enjoying myself. These songs are just so sweet and innocent, especially when a 13-year-old like Michael Jackson sings them. And because I haven't listened to a Jackson 5 album, I don't know how this album or how his voice compares to what he sang prior to his solo career, so I can't really compare the two, but from what I'm listening to, I think he sounds great. In my opinion, what I find interesting is that the production of this album is very mature sounding, and his voice is mature sounding as well, but it's also the voice of a child, so we have a voice of a child against a very mature sounding production, which I think is interesting. So now we're gonna move on to track number 3, Girl Don't Take Your Love From Me. Oh my god.
Girl, how will I make it when it's gone? Of all the little things I wanted to say, don't take your love from me.
Alrighty, that was track number 3, Girl Don't Take Your Love From Me. I'm having a great time. I don't know if you can tell, but I really am. And I really enjoyed it. I loved the harmonies and the backup vocalists on this track. And this was just another great song. I'm curious to know who Michael Jackson's main demographic was back then in 1972 when this album was released. Who was listening to Michael Jackson? Was it just teenagers, preteens, maybe a lot of adults were listening to him? I don't know. I also don't know how big of a star Michael was at this time in 1972. I don't know anything about the Jackson 5, so if you guys could share with me the story of Michael Jackson's rise to success and fame, especially at this time in 1972, because I don't know how popular he was at this time. But anyway, let's move on to track number 4, In Our Small Way.
Maybe you and I can't do great things. In our small way, empty words are not enough. Where there's hurt will be a crash. In our small way, we may not change the world in one day. Small way.
Alrighty, that was track number 4, In Our Small Way. This was such a special song, wasn't it? I really liked it. It's just so innocent. It's so tender and beautiful, and You just don't hear songs like this anymore. Maybe you and I can't do great things. We may not change the world in one day, but we still can change some things today in our small way. I don't know what I could say that I haven't already about this album and these songs. I'm still enjoying myself, so 2 thumbs up. Anyway, let's move on to track number 5, Got to Be There. Alrighty, and that was track number 5, Got to Be There. I love the harmonies on this album and the backup vocalists, and that is one of my favorite parts of this album so far. I'm just enjoying myself, but is this an album I would listen to again? Probably not. I mean, I don't see myself pulling out Got to Be There by Michael Jackson anytime soon. But it's nice to see where he started when it comes to his solo career. And not having listened to a Jackson 5 album, this is great to just see where he came from, where he started with his solo career, and where he is headed. They're just sweet, simple songs, but just because they're sweet and simple doesn't mean Michael doesn't bring the vocals. He sounds great on a lot of these tracks. But anyway, let's move on to track number 6, Rockin' Robin. Yeah! Yes, track number 6, Rockin' Robin. I was having a rockin' time, and I've heard this song before. I just don't know if it was Michael's version that I heard before. It might have been a cover. It does say here that Rockin' Robin was originally recorded by Bobby Day in 1958. I have no idea what an Oriole is. He outbopped the buzzard and the Oriole. What is that? So the Oriole is... It's a bird, obviously. It's the Baltimore Oriole, and it's from Eastern North America. They are part of the blackbird family. Oh, they're so gorgeous. You learn something new every day. Oh my god, if my neighbors could see me right now, how embarrassing. Anyway, let's move on to track number 7, Wings of My Love. Alrighty, and that was track number 7, Wings of My Love. This was another beautiful song. I personally found it a little boring, but that's just my opinion. It's a very classical, beautiful song, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't for me. It was kind of boring. I can see why. I mean, I imagine a lot of teen girls were swooning over Michael Jackson when they saw him live and when they listened to his voice and his albums. So now we're going to move on to track number 8, Maria, You Were the Only One. How could that possibly be a 13-year-old singing? I mean, the control he has over his voice, it sounds so great. And this was a very interesting song. It's probably one of my favorites on the album. It sounds quite different from the rest of the songs, in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. There's just something so mature and professional about his voice that is just so captivating at this age. Hands down, one of my favorite tracks on the album. I really enjoyed it. So now we're gonna move on to track number 9, Love Is Here, and Now You're Gone. Okay, and that was track number 9. Love Is Here and Now You're Gone. This is, in my opinion, this is a very consistent album. This was another great song. I don't know what I could say that I haven't already. This isn't one of my favorite tracks on the album, but I still enjoyed listening to it. For his voice, mostly, I always love listening to his voice on any one of these songs. So now we have come to the end of the album. Track number 10, You've Got a Friend. Alrighty, that was track number 10, You've Got a Friend, and I like the song. It's not one of my favorites on the album, but it does say that it's written by Carole King. Now, I've never listened to a Carole King album before. I don't think I've ever really listened to a Carole King song, but I know who she is. Her name would always come up here and there in music documentaries and such. And it does say that the song is from her Tapestry album from 1971. Now, I've heard great things about her Tapestry album. Apparently, this is one of the best albums of all time, and I've been wanting to listen to it for the longest time. It is one of the best-selling albums of all time with over 25 million copies sold worldwide. And I don't think I've heard a single song off this album. Obviously, I've now heard the cover of the song that she did, You've Got a Friend, but wow, I definitely need to check out this album. Like I said already, I wasn't the biggest fan of the song, but maybe if I listen to Carole King's version, I'll like it a lot more. But anyway, that is all 10 tracks of Michael Jackson's debut solo album from 1972. Got to be there, and I had a lot of fun. I didn't think I would be rocking out as much as I did listening to Michael Jackson's first solo album, but I really enjoyed myself. His vocals, I've said this already many times, his vocals are top-notch. They are so good, so professional, and I have nothing but good things to say about his voice. I also really enjoyed the production. It's just very interesting to hear this sort of production with a child's voice singing the lyrics. It's just very interesting. I'm not used to hearing a child sing music at this time in the 1970s and 1960s. I don't know, but I'm not familiar with child stars from the 1970s, so maybe that's why it's so weird hearing a child sing songs from this time. This probably won't be a Michael Jackson album I'll listen to again. I might. There are a few songs on here that I really enjoyed that I would definitely go back to, but as a whole, I don't know if I would go back to this album. But I did enjoy listening to it nonetheless. So what did you guys think of the album? And please help me out here. Give me a bit of insight into Michael's life at this time. Obviously, I can look into it myself, which I probably will, but share your knowledge with me. And what was it like for Michael when he was in the Jackson 5? Now he's a solo artist, so what was that transition like? So in my next Michael Jackson video, we'll be moving on to his second studio album called Ben from 1972, so the same year that he released his debut album. His debut album he released in January. This one, Ben, was released in August. It is going to be a few more weeks before we get to the good stuff. And when I say the good stuff, I mean Off the Wall, which I've never listened to before, and Thriller. I've listened to probably half of Thriller because quite a few of the songs from that album became singles, so I've heard half the album already, but there are a few songs from that album that I haven't listened to yet. So technically, it's still going to be a first listen video. And then we'll move on to Bad and so on and so forth. Oh, I cannot wait. And that's not to say his first 4 albums aren't good when I say I can't wait to get to the good stuff, like his most successful albums from the 80s, but I still really am looking forward to his first 4 albums prior to Off the Wall. Like you just saw for yourself, I really enjoyed his debut solo album, so I am excited to check out the next 3 albums before we get into his most famous albums of all time from the 80s. And let me correct myself, Off the Wall came out in 1979, so technically Off the Wall is still a 70s album, so clearly I still have a lot to learn. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going on this Michael Jackson discography journey. I'm so excited for what is to come. You have no idea. I'm like shaking. I'm so excited. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can message me. You can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music. You can check out my playlist and so on and so forth. Oh my god, his music videos! After I'm done listening to all his albums, I'm gonna watch all his music videos like I'm doing with his sister, Janet Jackson. Oh my god, okay. Bye.